This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Welcome to Usapang Bayan. Ako po si George Chua, kasama ang aking co-host na si Rach Marquez. Pag-uusapan po natin ang nalalapit na pagpapalit ng administrasyon at iba pang mga pangyayari sa ating bayan.
Makakapanayan po natin para sa gabing ito ang Secretary General ng Council on Philippine Affairs o COPA, Pastor Boy Saicon. Good evening, sir.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo, George and Rach.
Well, first of all, we'd like to thank you for taking time to be with us today. We know that you have been very busy, but siguro, Boy, bago tayo mag-umpisa, pwede ho ba natin ipaalam sa mga ating mga ibang nanonood na hindi familiar kung ano yung COPA at kung sino si Pastor Boy?
Siguro mas importante po siguro yung advocacy group po namin, no? Yung Council on Philippine Affairs. First, it was on the initiative of His Eminence Jaime Cardinal Sin in July 28, 1998, on the assumption of President Estrada to the presidency at the time. Cardinal Sin asked us to already gather the council that shall perform a watchdog position in the incoming government, to anticipate, in anticipation to any irregularities that it is confronted. So, I was appointed as Secretary General at the time, and our first president was William Esposo, together with Mr. Teodoro Benigno, of which the two have already passed away. The two senior members that are still there, that are very close to Cardinal Sin at that time, that are still with us is Mr. Hilarion Hinares and Mr. Antonio Open. Okay, Edgardo Vasquez is still with us. David Arsenas, Mr. Luxin. So this advocacy group is not a non-partisan. We do not participate in partisan activity. It's political, yes, but partisan, we respect each other's choice. Kanya-kanya kami ng posisyon. May iba kaming mga kasama, like si Patricia Sison, who chose another candidate, A, candidate B. And we respect each other. After we voted, then normalcy has to return to the advocacy that we all believe in.
Siguro ho, ang pangalan nyo ho ay parang naaangkop dito sa ating grupo, no? Pero dapat lang malaman ng ating mga nanonood, yung pastor ho, hindi ho siya pastor, kung hindi pangalan niya ho yun.
Tama po. Madalas po napagkakamalan kung ano daw pastor, ano denomination ng dala ko po. Ako po ay pangalan po sa pastor derived from the grandfather of my father. Pero hindi po ako religious, pero hindi rin po ako sacrilegious.
Alam niyo ho, siyempre ka gusto natin mapakita na ang COPA is unbiased, no? Sinasabi niyo ang non-partisan.
Non-partisan.
Pero saan ho ba kumukuha ng funding ang COPA para mag-operate ng kanilang organisasyon?
Ang COPA po is self-sustaining. Though the Archdiocese of Manila has something to do with it when it was built at that time when Cardinal Sin was still very strong. No, we do not get funding even from the church. No, we on our own personal requirements are covered by the individual members. Wala po, so that we have the strength to confront anyone.
Correct.
No, because we are not indebted to any government institution or any political personality.
So kagaya nyo ho as being the Secretary General, di abonado pa kayo.
Matagal na po. Since 1998 po, abonado po.
Ay saan ho naman kayo kumukuha ng kinabubuhay nyo?
Abay, meron naman po tayong mga konting negosyo na mabuti naman po ang ating returns.
Very good.
May negosyo po tayo ng makakahiya, advertisement na rin dito sa inyo. I'm into the memorial also services. No, tahimik na negosyo po dahil yung mga kliyente ko po hindi na ako nagko-complain eh.
Tama yan.
Pero nagbabayad po. I also have a restaurant that operates. And we also have an energy company involved in renewable energy.
Very good.
You mentioned, sir, that COPA is an advocacy group. Ano-ano po ba yung mga advocacies nyo? And paano po yung membership nyo? Do you get volunteers? At paano po nag-join?
Okay, ganito. No, anyone is free to join. No, provided, sabi nga namin, you cannot bring in a compromised, personality meaning with you. Meaning what? Kung kasama ka sa amin sa COPA, yung pala'y ikaw member ng isang political party, no? Dadalhin mo sa loob, mukhang mahihirapan kang matanggap ng council. You must enter it as an independent member in your own personal capacity that believes in we fighting for democracy. And in this case, democracy stands on a free, honest election and against corruption. And when the highest degree of corruption is when you steal the people's vote.
Talking about that, sir, just recently you presented the whistleblowers po na nagkiklaim na may electoral fraud and vote manipulation na nangyari sa Quezon. Ano po ba yung nangyari?
It's not just a claim, no? As far as the documentation that we have done today on the evidences being presented by the technicians, we call them now, officially, as these are encoders, technical encoders, that Smartmatic trained. And they schematic, things that happened in Lucena as a province, where they themselves are involved. In short, itong witness po ito, hindi po ito nakita. Hindi. Siya yung nag-ooperate ng makina. Yung nag-receive ng makina from the clustered precinct, at itong boto na doon sa clustered precinct, nireconfigure na another machine, and this is what is being transmitted by another group of Smartmatic people in the same building where they were operating. Na this is by satellite being fed to the destination they are designated. And in this case, we found out, but I cannot disclose it to you now, Kasi dapat yun, iba to yun doon sa tinatawag na transparency server and main server. Because the legal protocol is, from the precinct, once it closes, it totalizes, it must throw it to the transparency server.
Yes.
In this case, nagkaroon ng internal bypass. Kaya kung sinasabing internal bypass, hindi naman external yung nag-bypass nag-access ng data. Kung hindi, dinesign ito. So why did it break the legal protocol? What was the intention? Who were the beneficiaries? Doon nung sinabi nga na doon sa reconfiguration, sa Quezon alone is 1.1 million votes that entered into the machine. And doon reconfigured na lumabas, 981,000 lang ang lumabas na boto. So merong diferensya. Yan yung lumalabas.
Ito ba yung undervote na
Yan yung
sinasabi
lumalabas
nila?
na mga undervote. Naintindihan na namin. Kasi hindi ko maintindihan yung undervote Now, because of these people coming out, now we are getting a more clearer picture, of how these things are happening.
So, ang sinasabi nyo, kung dati meron tayong dagdag bawas, ito ho ay bawas lamang.
Oo, pero electronically done,
Oo.
no? Let's say, siguro, let me put it in a layman's language. Malakas kang kandidato, George, no? Mahina kang kandidato. Hindi necessarily na tatanggalin ko, dadagdag ko sa kanya. Hindi. Tatanggalan na lang kita, hindi ko bibilangin, magpapantay lang kayong dalawa.
Bawas lamang.
Oo, bawas lang ng bawas. Kaya kaya 4.5 million ang undervotes eh.
Ito ho bang undervote na ito ay nangyari hindi lang sa Vice President, pati sa President?
Lahat po, pati po sa Senador. Pati po sa Senador.
So may mga nakinabang talaga.
Oh, kaya nga sabi ko, but we want to focus here, George, only on the technical. That's why when I ask the technicians, please do not draw us, COPA, no? To the issue of ang nakinabang po
Sino ang
si
nakinabang?
Grace po, nakinabang ba si Lenny Robredo, nakinabang ba si... Ayaw po namin yun eh.
I see. Tama naman ho yun.
Kami sa technical lang, because
Yeah.
sa technical, we were able to prove you broke the legal protocol. And you are answerable to it. And COMELEC is answerable to it.
So proseso ho ang...
Proseso ang iniba nila.
Iniiba.
And wala po yan sa batas.
Ano ho ang sabi ng mga ating mga NAMFREL at saka yung PPCRV?
Hindi po nila alam eh. In fairness to them. Ang NAMFREL looks at the operational aspect of the voting centers. At yung isinarado, akala nila, that's all. So in fairness to them, they do not know. Even the candidates did not know. Like Lenny Robredo, no, or anyone, or Bongbong Marcos, na, paano siya nabawasan? Sino nagdagdag? No? This is highly technical.
I see.
Sir, yung mga whistleblowers po ba, hindi po nila dinisclose kung sino yung behind that?
They were trained for 2 weeks by Smartmatic. Most of them are government employees. They work in their individual departments as IT encoders. So, ang kanila, they thought this was just a regular electoral work. They were trained by Smartmatic. They went into a 4-story building. Equipment came in. They were installing the equipment. Naglagay sila ng parabolic disc for the transmission. So sabi nila, trabaho lang ito.
Paano ho nila nalaman na may pagkukulang o may mali sa proseso?
Nagulat sila bakit pumapasok lahat ng boto ng buong probinsya sa Lucena. So, proseso lang, wala pang number ha. Bakit dito sa atin pumapasok itong boto ng clustered precinct ng probinsya? Dapat, di ba, nasa
Diretso.
Nasa diretso yan sa mga transparency server at saka main server.
Okay.
Tapos, nagdududa na sila. And then, pagka kuha nila, tapos itatransmit uli, nagkakaroon ng hard copy. Doon na sila nakikita na iba na yung mga numero.
Alin ho ang ibang numero? Doon sa hard copy at saka...
Doon sa hard copy, sa transmission na. Yung tinatransmit na, doon sa...
Iba na sa hard copy.
Kasi in short, nag-bypass na nga eh. Nagbakasyon yung boto, pagdating dito, buntis na. Pagdating dito sa ano.
So, ang sinasabi niyo ho, yung hard copy...
When the hard copy is the receipt, the receipt.
Yun ho ang tama.
Hindi ho tama yun. Ito na po yung reconfigured votes.
So, paano nila alam na hindi yun ang tamang, hindi ho nagtutugma yun?
Hindi magtutugma doon sa count sa precinct level eh.
Hindi, paano nila alam kung ano yung nasa precinct level? Nakikita ba nila yun?
Hindi yun. Na-check na kaya they came later eh. Na-check yan later eh. Because meron silang mga IT group din doon eh.
So, paano nga ho nila nalaman from the precinct level server, may nag-add man noon tapos parang iba yung...
Hindi. Basta sa kanila, sabi ka nga eh, when Senator Osmeña asked them, kayo ba ang naglagay ng number? Hindi po. Kayo ba ang naglipat? Hindi ho. Basta kami ho, when the votes comes in, we read the SD card. We remove it and put it into another machine that reconfigures the vote. Pag natapos yun, no, iilaw siya, mababasa nila, hihilahin ulit yung vote, dadalhin ng supervisor, itatakbo doon sa transmission center. Now, yung transmission center, yun ang nakakabasa dun sa hard copy.
Hindi, pero sila ho yung mga whistleblowers kung they're just dealing with a process of inserting the SD cards and things like that.
Dala nila yung SD card.
Oh,
We have that as part of our evidence.
I see. So yung SD card niyon, iba ang laman nun doon sa printout.
Doon sa pinasok nung, nung printout.
Doon sa lumabas na printout. I see.
Pero sir, tinatanong po ni COMELEC Chair Andres Bautista, if there was really an electoral fraud, bakit po 3 weeks after lang sila lumabas?
Ang tanong ko nga meron bang lalabas ng electoral fraud kung hindi after, always, the act? It's always after the act. After the counting, after makikita yung bilang. No? Kaya, napaka-lame nung reason ni Chairman Bautista. Very lame. No? At saka yung sinasabi naman ng mga abogado, yung COC, tama naman. Ipinapakita mo COC, contaminated na yun eh. Ang sinasabi namin, yung process na nag-produce nun, yun ang aming
So ang
particular.
sinasabi nyo, ang dapat hong basihan ay yung precinct level.
Hindi, wala. Kaya nga, I don't like. Ang importante lang ngayon is, bakit dumaan doon sa protocol, doon sa mga stations, outside of the legal protocol. Huwag na lang sabihin ilan yung boto.
I see.
Ba't kayo dumaan doon?
Okay. So,
So,
parang...
pagkatapos, anong oras kayo nag-transmit? Tinanong ko anong oras. O bakit kayo nagpalit naman ng hashtag? Iba naman kilos yun, no? Ba't kayo nagpalit ng hashcode?
Hashcode, yes.
Kumbaga sa supposedly ang bus na sinasakyan mo ay express, pero huminto kung saan-saan. Ganon. Parang
Ganun po.
proseso lang ang...
Kaya sabi ko, nagbakasyon yung boto. Yung sabi niya nga, yung boto niya, naka-intend, sabi mo, papunta ng Baguio. Ay, hindi pala, pupunta po tayo Pangasinan muna, bago tayo mag-Baguio.
So, ang ipipresentan yung ebidensya ay yung proseso lamang.
Yung proseso, technical. Kaya nga, yung technical participation nila, ilan sila nagtrabaho doon, saan yung building, wala mo na yung, because we don't want to touch on
The results.
who benefited from it. That's
Very good.
political. Ours is legal
Yes.
and technical.
So, ang pinag-uusapan ba natin dito ho ay yung nasa Quezon lamang? Or
Hindi po. Ngayon, hindi na po. As of today, this is nationwide. We were given already the schematic involvement of the others in different areas.
I see. So, it's all... ilan
Nationwide po
ilan
siya.
hong centers ang involved? Ilan po ang...
6 centers.
6
6 centers.
malaking epekto ho yun, yung polling centers na yun.
Hindi po polling centers.
Yung ano,
This is a server. 6 serving centers. Because it siphons all the votes. Reconfigures tsaka binabato.
I see. So, we'll have to have a station break at this point.
Sige po.
Sa amin pong pagbabalik, pag-uusapan pa rin natin ang susunod ng administrasyon kasama si COPA Secretary General Boy Saicon. Please stay tuned.